Sorry, everybody. My mic was muted. Yes, yes. Okay. Hello and welcome to the Ask Weldon Show, episode 115, live call-in show. Sorry that my mic was muted there. I was just basically saying that. Oh my gosh. Basically, I was just saying that this is going to be a live call-in show, and my video and my audio might be desynced. Like, I'm running 3 programs on this laptop, and it's not the greatest streaming tool, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, that's all there is to that. And so essentially, what you do is you go here to this Discord. I think the link works. Please try it right now and report to me if it doesn't. And it takes you to my Discord where there's an Ask Weldon channel, and I want you guys to write your question in the Ask Weldon channel, and then the best questions will join me in the chat channel, and we'll have you ask the question live on the show. So let's see. 1, ask a question by typing it out. 2, the best questions will get called out. Please join the chat room, the voice channels. Let's go on the show. Let me rename this one. Overview. The waiting room. Okay. Voice channels, hashtag the waiting room. 3, I will drag you into the showroom to ask your question live. Okay. Now I gotta pin this. Pin. Oh yeah, pin it. Okay. There we go. Please, let me know what your questions are. YouTube shows that it's dropping frame rates like hell. Yeah, I bet it is. I'm on a pretty crummy internet on a pretty slow computer, but like, how's the audio? Can you guys hear me smoothly? That's what I'm worried about. Yeah, the video is going to be really laggy. Sorry, but hopefully the audio will be okay. How's the audio? I know the video's laggy. I'll try not to move very much. How's the audio? I need a faster computer. Is that what everybody says? All right. I wonder how I can improve. Maybe if I minimize Discord, I wonder if that will help. If I minimize Discord and I cut off this monitor. And I quit Flux. Do I have any other programs running? Nope, that's it. Okay, I have one browser window open, I have Discord open, and I have OBS. And, you know, it's probably, honestly, it's probably the... Why is this screen open? I'm going to close it, but I'm scared. All right, can you guys see me still? Did my screen die? I'm afraid that my video died completely because I'm just gonna wave at myself until I see myself on YouTube because I'm not getting a preview anymore in OBS. I have zero preview. Maybe I'll switch scenes real quick. Nope, no preview. Okay, I think I'm good. I'm just going to minimize OBS and we'll go with it. So just to remind everybody, this is a call-in show, which means you have to, everyone can sorry, I'm giving permissions to everybody. There. Okay. I think that the channel thing now works. Sorry. I'm not sure that I did the right invite. But try now. I changed the channel to be public. I think maybe I screwed it up at the start. Just somebody like write something in the Ask Weldon Show channel. Anything at all. I see a lot of people are typing, but it's not showing me anything. You're my biggest Snapchat follower? Feliz Mentalist? That's cool. That's really cool. Oh, yay. Okay. It's working. Good. Okay, so the channel works now. All right. Checking Twitch chat. Good. Nobody's watching me on Facebook. Wow. It's depressing. Or nobody's commenting on Facebook. Oh well. Do I think G2 will have as much potential as CSM? Maybe. Okay, so we have a question here from Jake. Hi. Well, then I've been playing a lot of 1 or 2 champions, and I'm worried about becoming a one trick and having my overall improvement in the game plateau. I was just wondering if there's a good way to transition. Okay. Jake, do you want to ask your question? Let's try this. All right. For the first time on the Ask Weldon Show, I'm going to try to do a call-in question, and hopefully everybody hears his sound and I hear his sound and everything works. Let's go, Jake. I'm going to drag you down. Hello, Jake. Are you there? Your mic is muted. Maybe you don't even have a mic. In which case, I don't know what you're doing at a call-in show. Jake is not saying anything. Maybe I have to add him a role so he can talk? I'm not sure. Pretty sure you can just talk if you unmute your mic. Okay. Sorry, Jake. Boop. Let me know if you get... Oh, it won't let you? It won't let you talk? Like, it won't let you unmute your mic. Yes, I remember you, William. Okay, Jake. See if you can... Oh, wait. I think your mic... Let me drag you in here and see if it works or not. It won't let you talk in here. That's so weird. Okay, let me change the channel. And oh, I see. I figured it out. Sorry. My bad. My bad. Okay, can you talk now? I changed it. No? Okay, I'll change it again. Okay, how about now? Yeah.
Motherfuck you.
All right. I gave everyone in this channel. Let me create a new role. Mind gamer. Add. Oh, there's no role such as that. Yeah, I gave everybody in this channel the ability to speak. So now I'm not sure what's going on. No, don't worry about it, Jake. It's my fault. This is my very first ever call-in show. We are guaranteed. Like, I've been literally messing with audio settings for like 2 days to figure this the heck out. So I'm going to create a new role called Mind Gamer. Mind Games. Mind Gamer. You're going to be like orange. No, plat. Diamond. Diamond is blue, right? Blue. Okay. And they're going to have the ability to speak, connect, use voice activity, manage messages. Okay. Can you guys talk in the other channel? Is the other channel working for y'all? Maybe the other channel's broken too, actually. Let me I didn't want to hire like a Discord expert, for this. Figure like it should be easy enough for everybody to figure out, but apparently it's not. Aha. Okay. Maybe that works now. Okay. I'm going to try Jake, I'm going to try again. Now can you say something?
Hello.
Oh,
Hi, can you hear me?
I figured it out.
Hey man, what's up?
Not much. What's up with you?
All right.
Welcome to the show.
Cool.
And it looks like your audio is getting picked up, so we're good there.
Yep. All right.
So what's your question? Share it with everybody.
So I've been playing a lot where I've been on spurts of 1 or 2 champions at a time, and I was just worried about becoming just a one trick and not progressing in the game. And I was wondering if there's a good way to transition experience on just one champion or one role into a more broad macro game sense and improve just my overall game knowledge.
Sure. So stick with me for a sec. I'll start the question and we'll see how I'm doing, and then we can get more context if I need more information. Okay. So basically, like the way that I coach is really in line with what you're doing, which is trying to all in on 1 or 2 champions. And the reason that I think that this works is there's a couple there's a couple cool quotes that I'll give you. One of them is from Josh Waitzkin, who's one of the best chess players in the world, of whom the movie Searching for Bobby Fischer was based on. And he wrote the book The Art of Learning. He became like, a world-class chess player, grandmaster, and then he went on to become a world champion in Tai Chi, and then he, I think his highest level in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was like an 8th place finish in the world championships or something like that. But anyway, the quote is, learn the macro from the micro. So the idea being that you get so into the thing that you're doing that you learn by being so focused the macro principles that govern those very specific things. So people who like are Renaissance men and kind of touch lightly on a lot of stuff usually don't get enough data to get an overarching pattern in their head of how things work. And there was somebody who was describing this about, this is where the name's escaping me. I got to look up this guy. But the quote is that talking about chess grandmasters, that they achieve the simplicity on the far side of complexity, right? So the idea is there's simplicity on this side of complexity, and that's things like you should roam at level 6, whatever, right? But then simplicity on the far side of complexity is when you go so deep into a really complex topic that you start to see the patterns. So the reason that one-tricking works for this and works better than almost anything else is because essentially you need to get so automatic at a champion and so good at it that you don't have to think about, a lot of the basics, so that you can start focusing on more complex microscopic rules, and then you get deeper into that, and then those become automatic, and pretty soon you break through into this like these kind of like principles that govern the whole game. And you start to apply those to other champions you play. So does that kind of like ring true or make sense to you?
Yeah, what you're saying makes true. Mainly, I was just wondering, like, I was worried about getting to a point where I can't play other champions to a level where I would succeed
Right.
the same way that I'm doing with the champions I'm playing now.
Yeah, this is
And
why
I was wondering how I could work that.
this is so important, this show, because like then I get extra context like that to take the question next level. So I actually went through the same fear where I ranked up really high on Talon.
Mhm.
And then I switched to a new champion, and obviously like my ability on that champion is way lower than my current MMR on Talon, right? So two things you have to do. First of all, divorce your self-identity of your rank from your skill at the game. So you are going to one trick and you're going to get to a rank, but that doesn't mean anything. And then you're going to switch to a new champion and you're going to drop and you're going to suck and you're going to be way worse at the game. And the game's going to tell you that you're way worse at it by flunking you on the test, right? And you're going to rank down. But you have to realize that like improvement isn't universally represented by rank growth, because you can think of it like a mountain range, right? And sometimes there's a really tall peak that like reaches up above the clouds, and then other times there's these other small peaks. And your goal is essentially isn't to move all the peaks up. Your goal is to like literally raise the earth till the earth breaks through the clouds, and then there's the mountains, whatever height they are. So you want to jump from peak to peak and like work on raising everything up. And so a lot of times it's not going to be represented in MMR gains and losses, but if what you should focus on is being able to transfer knowledge or skills or ideas from the one trick that you're doing onto the next champion. So I did this when I plateaued. Basically, I would one trick all the way up till I couldn't progress. And then I would jump onto the new champion, and I would really focus on what I could take away from my previous, like, I would look for patterns. You kind of get the idea there, which is you're looking for like what it is that worked for you to get to where you were on that champion, and you try to apply those rules to the next champion as a test. And some rules you're going to realize, oh, this one doesn't work here. You're going to refine them. And other rules you're going to be like, it's going to be edified. You're going to see that it's verified and validated when you test it on the new champion. So those are going to become solidified, and the other ones are going to become more specific and more intricate rules because they're going to be changed. And then you're going to raise that mountain up. You're going to climb back in MMR, and you'll probably go above your previous plateau with the previous one trick because your rules got better, right?
Makes sense.
Cool. All right. I hope that helps. And let's jump into the next question. All right.
All right. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. Cool. Oh my God, you guys, it's working. This is great. Okay. So I'm in the channel and we have some questions here. Jake was the first. Zave TV. Let me read these real quick. All right. Zave Teve, are you there? Are you gonna Zave Teve, are you
Yeah, hi, hello.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
How do you pronounce your handle?
It's Sai Thang. Most people just call me Sai.
Sai? Okay.
Yeah.
That works. All right. Would you love to ask your question for everybody?
Sure. Yeah. So in the Mac program, like a lot of the mindfulness training is really emphasized on like the present moment and how that's like the only thing that really exists. Everything else is just off in the space. And during the mindfulness meditation, though, you reach this point where you talk about motivation for doing the training, where you bring up things like how this will better my life and the lives of the people that I interact with. And so my question is this focus on the future as motivation like intentional, or should I be moving towards being able to motivate myself just purely in the present moment?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. So just to bring some context to people, a lot of the Mac program training is about being able to rescind yourself to I'm not sure if that's the right word, but to be able to like focus on the present, because we aren't multitasking creatures. We're serial. Okay, humans are serial. If you focus on one thing and then you focus on another thing, you're split. You reduce the focus that's on the one thing by putting it on the other one, right? And if you split into 3 channels, you have less focus, even more. So the basic concept of choking or tilting is that people are focused on their mistake and therefore reducing their attention in the present moment. Ergo, they are more likely to mess up or get taken advantage of by their opponent because they have a sudden drop in skill level because their focus is split, right? And by the way, this is best represented in sport by a fantastic study in 2010 or 11 that came out of Sweden. Anders, I can't remember the last name of the guy his first name is Anders. I don't remember the guy who did the study, but he was actually able to do not a placebo group, a control group, which is why this is so exciting, because not a lot of studies have control groups in the sports psychology world, like actually when you're in the team. So he had 2 soccer teams, and one of them had mindfulness training, focus on the present, come to practice and like totally drop everything else in the world that happened before this practice and just focus on what you're doing. And then he had the rest of the league and then the control team, which had a placebo training. So like a fake mindfulness training that wasn't having them focus on the present, but was kind of like having them do this like sports psychology ritual before the training, right? And what happened was the placebo basically matched the average, which is they had an average of 26, I believe, injuries in the preseason across their team. So minor all the way to major. And the intervention teams, of which I think there were 3 teams that had interventions, had an average of 1 injury in the preseason amongst all of them. And so if you think of injuries in esport as making a mistake or getting killed or roaming at the wrong time or missing a CS, like you think of that as an injury, basically. Getting killed, put on the pad. That's like an injury in soccer. You like trip on the ball and pass it over to the opponent and sprain your knee or whatever in the process. So it's all caused by focus. But then in the mindfulness training, I say, in order to attach your motivation and really get like geared into it, I ask you to focus on the present, or on the future, sorry. So like, how will what you're doing right now impact you? in the future, and how will what you're doing right now live out kind of your intention to those around you. So I don't actually, how far are you in the program right now, Sai?
I'm at like the second
Second week?
thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Have you done the performance values thing yet?
Uh, I actually don't
Okay.
know.
I think
It
it's
sounds
coming up
familiar,
in like
but
4, week 3 actually. So essentially, the way that it works is people are either driven by emotions or they're driven by values, and the choices that you make, usually most of the time, because we're humans, are to salve our emotions, or to like seek out emotional content. And people who can live by their values, meaning the things that they want and imagine should happen in their lives, usually are able to withstand more pain and suffering and frustration, and also to stave off things like escapism and joy and happiness in order to pursue their ambition. And so when I do the mindfulness, the guided meditation in the MAC program, I'm asking you to visualize like how what you're doing right now will improve your life tomorrow and the lives of those you interact with, because I want you to hook into your values of why you're doing this moment. So you're going to do maybe 10 minutes of mindfulness meditation, right? And in those 10 minutes, a lot of times you're going to have the option to fall asleep or just think random thoughts or be bored. And it takes a certain amount of gumption or muscle to say, okay, oops, I got distracted. Let me come back. Oops, I got distracted. Let me come back. And about the 5th time, you start feeling pretty crappy about yourself. But if you're able to motivate yourself by the value of like, no, this is what I want. Like this is gonna be amazing. Like what I want, and it's clear in my mind because literally like 5 minutes ago, Weldon had me visualize how much this was gonna improve my life. Like that's where I'm headed. So that makes that little moment of pain easier. The one where you realize that like you've been distracted for 7 minutes and you haven't, you weren't strong enough to kind of do the activity, and you're just so frustrated with yourself. Like the ability to, instead of call it quits and get up or quit early, be like, wow, this is a really long one. That is the battery, is that value that you hold out in front of you, the thing that you visualize, the thing that you want, the goal that you have. And if you can really, so that's why we do it right at the beginning, right? Is if you can attune to it really strongly there, it can carry you through 10 minutes easy. Maybe like if you attune to it in the morning and then by the evening you wouldn't have, the same kind of like powered up battery. But what I do when I sit down to write, is I think about all the people in the world that have pissed me off and how much I would just want to show them. And I just want to like stand above them and be like, told you, sucker. And so like that powers me. That fuels my battery up, right? So same reason that I want to, same reason I'm very, very driven to do the things that are required in order to win worlds. So I can shove it down people's... No, okay. All right. So how's the context on that? Do you have any follow-up? Does it make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, no, I think I need time to digest this, but yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't be moving towards being able to motivate yourself purely in the present moment. You should be able to not care about motivation at all. But I like to layer them on top of each other. So eventually you're strong enough that motivation is an emotion. You don't need it.
Yeah.
It's great if you have it. But eventually you're strong enough that, motivation or not, you can do what you want to do, driven by your goals, ambitions, and values. Most especially your values. Value-driven goals is what they're called. But I like to do both. I say, like, what's wrong with having both motivation and value-driven goals? You know what I mean? Like they don't reduce, or it's not like one or the other. So we work a lot on maximizing our motivation in the team, in G2, and we also work on not needing motivation at all, because eventually you're going to have that down moment where motivation is just gone. You're going to need to do it anyway. But like, I like when there is motivation to be able to ride easy and not worry so much about, pushing yourself. So, yeah. You can motivate yourself by the future. And if it's there and you're motivated, awesome. And if you're not, then you have some hard times
then
in
just
front of you.
gotta just be able to do it
Right.
without thanks.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Sai.
Yeah. Bye.
Ciao. Okay. I think the next question might be from William. I'm gonna scroll down and see. Yeah, we have just coffee. All right. William, are you here? Yes, I see you. Okay, I'm gonna drag you to the channel. Hello? Your mic is muted.
Hey, what's up, Weldon?
Hi. Good to see you again.
Yeah, of course. Happy to see you. When are you gonna come visit Minnesota, bro?
Soon as G2 pays me. No.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, it's been a while. As you can see, I moved from the University of Minnesota. I now coach. I coach for Team Horizon. It's an up and coming esports organization. We have like a lot of challenger, master tier players. But yeah, the question is that I'm essentially restarting this roster based on what my GMs told me, and we're still searching it out and all that. But as a question for you, what would currently searching for all that? Is there anything specific that I should be searching for when it comes to like players and their potential, receptiveness, anything like that?
Okay, my phone's buzzing. I'm gonna mute the notifications here. There we go. That's better.
All right, you're good.
Is there anything you should be looking for in terms of receptiveness and coachability when it comes to the players or their potential performance?
Yeah.
So
anything specific?
Yeah, I like to look for people who have ambition, the really strong ambition, and who I notice are able to sacrifice for it, right? So the two things that are key to coachability, if you want to call it that, are that the person wants something that they don't have, right? That they're driven to go somewhere. It's really hard to say coach a person to win a tournament who just is kind of there for fun and doesn't actually care about it. Like they actually want to improve, or they just want to have fun. So ambition. Ask people what their ambition is. Ask them to paint a picture. You'll notice some people just say kind of blasé, empty words, and some people have this incredibly vivid image of exactly where they're headed. And I was having a conversation actually with my wife earlier tonight, and she said she pulled out her diary, her journal from 2014. She was surprisingly accurate in predicting, like our third child would be born March 2017 or 2016, and he was born in April, like a month. She was off by 1 month. She predicted the exact amount of time we're going to run out of money on our renovation and need more cash. She is so good at visualizing the future, and she puts herself there that she was able to do really amazing things like get a Fulbright scholarship and go to Harvard and all these things because her ambition was not only there, but driven towards a goal that she could so clearly visualize that she was able to predict the future in her trajectory, right? So that's what you're looking for, somebody who has that kind of clarity. Second thing is they got to be able to their ego to improve at something. And I don't mean bury their ego for you. I mean bury their ego to do anything at all if you notice it in the conversation or whatever. Give a Dardoch, okay, on Team Liquid.
Yep.
Sometimes he's able to bury his ego in order to improve and win. And sometimes he's not. Sometimes it's just too frustrating, right? So you're looking for the person who is able to show in a short time or in stream. The best example I can give in League of Legends is when you see somebody who's like team is feeding and they're still trying to lead them and win, and what they're doing is they're building up their teammates, and you know that inside they're seething and frustrated and they want to win at all costs, and their expression of that is to try to pull their teammate out of wherever they are instead of like push their vomiting mess of emotions onto their teammate, right?
Sure.
So that's an act of suppression and then doing the steps necessary to win.
Okay.
And that's a really good example of the kind of like internal emotional control that you want when you're recruiting. So
Cool.
that would be my advice. How to get that in a short interview from somebody, but I'm
Yeah.
sure that you'll figure it out.
Yeah. Actually, that's good. I actually started. Was pretty much like my basis so far going through when it came to recruiting. So awesome. Good thing I'm on a good start already.
Cool. And where's Team Horizon located?
Team Horizon. I think the headquarters is based in Texas. That's where like a lot the owner and like the GM is located. But of course, all the players are across NA. We actually just recently the Challenger team recently went to Land ETS, and they had Rux, former top laner from Curse. He's been
Okay.
subbed there. All these like star Challenger players, Mylu and all that. I don't know if you've heard of them, but yeah, pretty much. I had to touch base, see how well they did in Land ETS, and hopefully we won. But it's a pretty big prize pool. But yeah, a good organization to work for so far.
Sounds awesome.
All right.
I
well,
bet Minnesota
thank you
is
very
missing
much.
you.
Yeah. They actually went to they competed in the BTN. They messed up their draft. I was pretty harsh on them. I was like, why'd you guys put Camille jungle against Kha'Zix, et cetera, et cetera? Why didn't you just put Camille top lane, give him Kha'Zix, choose Ivern? You play Ivern. I would have told my top laner to play Camille at that time as well. I don't know. They're doing okay. I think they're having fun with it so far. But yeah, definitely, they're still all good friends and all that, but definitely missing a lot.
Awesome. Okay, thanks for stopping by.
Not a problem. Well, thank you.
Yeah, keep in touch.
For sure.
Okay. Just a reminder for all of you who have joined us since then, this is the Ask Weldon episode 115 call-in show, which means you have to go to the Discord link, which is on my stream, and then put your question in the Discord channel, the Ask Weldon channel there, and then join the waiting room. And I'll try to pick the next question if we don't have a lot of questions, or the best question if there's an overwhelming amount, and drag you down into the show, and you can present your question to the audience, and we'll not only be able to answer it, but then get context on the answer and see if it's satisfying or if we can dig even deeper. And I have a ping in general, so just a second, Yeah, my stream is definitely lagging. Yeah, I know. I'm working on like a really questionable computer at best. By the way, if you want to help my stream not lag, please check out I don't know which side it's on, but the Mac program here, Mindfulness Acceptance Commitment Program, which is the only way I will ever be able to buy a new computer. It's my training program. I'm trying to clone myself for your benefit. So this is the program that I did with CLG, TSM, that I implemented with all the teams that I worked with for a longer period of time, and of course that I'm going to be implementing with G2 more or less ongoing. We just had, I think, 2 sessions since the beginning of the split, kind of like diving into the same principles as you'll find in this online program that is purely videos. And so check that out. I think that it's probably incredibly cheap for the value, and I'm sure that many people who are in the program could tell you that it's worth far more than 25 of the dollars that are being requested for access. By the way, it's permanent lifetime access, meaning that as I'm upgrading it, improving it, adding lessons, adding worksheets, redoing the audio and everything, that you just keep it. You get grandfathered in as the program gets better, and as the price perhaps rises, you already have it, so it's yours. And by the way, right now it's 49 sessions long, I believe. Actually, it might be 47. But yeah, it's something you do over the course of 50 days. It's one session a day. Of course, most people are not going to keep up to that pace, so it's minimum 3 sessions a week to have the kind of impact that you want. You can spread it out over a longer time, but it's not quite as effective. Okay, let's see. Felix sucks at games is not in the channel, so I'm going to skip that question. HD Copycat. I feel too tired, so I can see myself. Okay, let's get this question in here. I'm going to drag you down to the channel. Hello. Who's there?
Hi.
Hi, what's your name?
Hello. Well, my screen name is HD Copycat, but
HD.
my real name's Elmeri.
Elmeri.
I'm from Finland.
Really? You're from Finland?
Yeah, Helsinki.
Elmeri.
Elmeri, yeah.
Elmeri. Okay, welcome to the Ask Weldon show. What's your question?
My question was, I have a problem where most of the time when I'm like having my free time, I feel really tired, where I like convince myself that I'm too tired to perform in league to my like usual performance level. So I like um convince myself to playing just norms or flex queue, and I just wait, Pena, my mom's wait, yeah, um, yo. Um, so what happens is that I end up playing like very seldomly actual like ranked,
Mm-hmm.
and I just go in this cycle of playing just norms with friends and norms with friends, which is like fine, but it sort of hinders my improvement. I feel because
Okay.
I don't like.
So
Yo,
let me start out by asking, what are your ambitions like? Do you want to hit a certain rank? Do you want
no,
to graduate
it's
from
just
your?
sorry. It's just about like improvement. I don't
Okay.
really care about any specific rank. I'm just like I peaked plat 3 with like under 300 games, but I basically just want to play more and see how much I can improve because I
Okay.
think I have
And
a lot of
do you
wasted.
feel bad when you don't play with your friends? Like how many games with your friends do you need every week to enjoy the game, and how many would you prefer that you would do ranked? So like how far away from you are?
Yeah, but it's
from
not
your...
like I even like enjoy playing with friends more. It's just that I like excuse myself into playing with friends because I feel like I don't have to try as hard, and because
Sure.
I feel
Sure.
tired all the time. I just feel like I don't like I can't play league right now to my full potential.
Right.
Is what I feel.
So I'll go over three different things, and the first is that tiredness is actually an internal state. So it's something that you can more or less choose to ignore up to a point. So tiredness is both a psychological and a physical, like a biological phenomena, meaning that there's a certain component of tiredness that you can actually just straight up ignore if you want to, and be alert and focused. And then there's a certain
Yeah.
component of tiredness where in your body just continues to shut down and kind of draw you down into it. And so it's actually quite unique in that way. When researchers research tiredness, you always have to explore these two dimensions. So I wanted to just clear that up, that essentially in the MAC program and in meditation and mindfulness, one of the things that I experienced was when I started doing mindfulness training, I would often fall asleep when I was doing meditation. And that went on for about 4 hours worth of training. So I train in like 10-minute to 15-minute bouts. And so that would be 6 times 4. That'd be 30 days. 30 days. But of course, I didn't train every single day. So I trained maybe 3 times a week. So that over the course of 3 months. So my first 3 months of doing mindfulness, I really struggled with falling asleep because it's like this relaxing thing. Then I noticed that my mind was getting stronger, and I was able to actually do the opposite. Like I would go to work in the morning, and then instead of taking my first coffee break, the coffee tauko, we would the pulla
Yeah,
tauko.
kahvia pulla.
That happens at about kymmeneltä, about 10 o'clock. Everybody gets to work, and then they take a coffee break there. Instead,
Yeah.
I would do mindfulness, and I would get the same effect. I would go from kind of being a little tired to being super alert because I'd switched the paradigm. I was essentially like strengthening my focus on the things that I wanted to accomplish and being more alert. So that is one thing to consider, is that this is actually a trainable skill. The ability to overcome tiredness with alertness means it's kind of like a muscle. I want you to think about it as doing bicep curls. Your tiredness is the weight, and your ability to curl it up over and over again, that is a muscle in your brain. And at some point, you just can't lift it. It's just too freaking heavy. But up to a point, the stronger you are, the more reps you can actually do. So think about just strengthening your brain in terms of doing mindfulness training. You can use headspace.com. You can use Mac program. You can go to Tara Brock's website, which is a free guided mindfulness website. You can go on YouTube. There's tons of apps. Just find some way to do it. Okay, number 2. If you really want to challenge yourself and you just want to jump off the deep end, I would say just ban norms and flex. Because I struggled with the same kind of balance, and my life got a lot better when I just said I am not allowed to play normal games at all. Period. Done.
Yeah.
Only
Yeah,
ranked.
because like because like I came from StarCraft, where essentially there was no other game than like the ranked. Like
Yeah.
nobody played norms because it was a 1v1 game. So why would you play norms?
Exactly.
So League has this like really convenient like
Excuse.
I guess excuse. Yeah.
Yep. So basically, I say go hot and cold. I would say do 1 week. You're not allowed to play any normal games at all, or flex queue or
Yeah.
whatever. And then the next week, you let yourself play with your friends.
Yeah.
And then the third thing is, in terms of alert and motivation, like you just have to hack your life a little bit. So you have to get more sleep. Make sure that you're getting the right amount of sleep. I don't know if you're getting
Well, I'm
3, 4,
like
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
well, my school starts 7 a.m. Today, and it's 1 a.m. because I'm listening to you. So
So you're not doing too well on that.
yeah,
So-
my mom came to complain, but I was like, shh, this is important.
Okay, so get flux for your computer, so that you're not getting any sort of like effect on your melatonin later at night. Basically, this is Finland, so you need to decide when nighttime is for you, and you need to make the lights in your world downgrade and cut out the
Yeah.
blue light. And you know how to do shift on your phone. You can do light shift on your phone. I believe on iOS it's now automatic, and on Android there's a app called Sunset or Sunlight or something like that. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
amazing. It's one of the best ones in the App Store.
Yeah.
Do that on your computer. Just hack your life a little bit. Make sure your melatonin's good. You're obviously taking vitamin D because you live in Finland, so that's good.
Yeah.
And what's your caffeine intake like on a daily level?
I actually, I like a year or a few years ago, I switched out all because I thought it was better for me. I switched out all energy drinks and like Coca-Cola, everything for like iced tea, because I thought that was better. But I'm like basically addicted to iced tea right now.
And when you say iced tea, you mean the one you buy from the store?
Yeah, like.
Do you have one handy around nearby?
No, I just took the trash. So
Oh
no.
shoot. Okay. So what's the content of the iced tea? Is it sweet? Is it bitter? Is it
It's like just a regular one you buy from Coca-Cola or Alepa. It's like the most normal one you can buy. I'm not sure.
Do you know how many carbohydrates it has?
Dude, wait. Give me like 5 seconds.
Okay, yeah, I'll wait. We're all gonna wait because this is really important. It's really important to realize. Sometimes you might be like putting caffeine in your body for alertness, and then kind of contradicting yourself with sugar intake, which can drive your
I
insulin
can't
spike. Can't find.
Yeah,
one?
I can find.
Okay,
any,
so
'cause, like,
when next time you find one, I want you to flip it around. Okay, look at the back.
Yeah.
Look at the carbohydrate content. So the kilohydrate, and it will say sokarista, from sugars.
Yeah.
And I want you to do a quick audit. Okay, so 3 to 5 grams is like a sweetener. Okay.
Yeah.
12 grams to 18 grams, we're approaching the amount of sugar that's in a Snickers bar, in a candy bar. Okay.
Yeah.
Or a slice of bread. And when
Yeah.
you get up to like 30 grams, we're approaching like the amount in an energy drink, like a Red Bull, like a Coke or something like that.
Wait, I'm opening Notepad. Yeah.
So if you see that there is sugar in there, I would say most of, and you've been drinking a lot of them, I would say that right now you're addicted to both the sugar and the caffeine, and actually the alertness that you get immediately after drinking one is actually coming from the sugar, from the boost of glucose into your blood. And then that's triggering an insulin response from your kidneys, which is like shooting insulin into your body to pull the glucose out of your blood, because you can't have too much glucose in your blood. That's bad. So the insulin strips it out. But then essentially, because you have such a fast influx, so usually sugars in things like tea are direct, which means they go right from your small intestine into your bloodstream. It's not like fructose, which would go to the liver. It's like glucose or sucralose, which goes like straight into the bloodstream. So it's like a rush. It's like if you're pouring out a bucket with a narrow top and it takes a while to pour out, or you're pulling out a bucket with like a 3-foot wide top, it just dumps out all at once. So that's what you're doing into your blood. So the insulin rushes in, pulls out all the sugar. Then you have less sugar than you need in your blood, right? So then you're tired again. and then you go drink another iced tea, right? So that's the first thing is I would audit your diet and make sure that your sugar intake throughout the day is more consistent, more slow, that it's just like little humps instead of big rushes. And honestly, the only way to do that is to switch to tea. Just you have to start just buying tea. You know, when you go to the kiosk, just get a hot tea. And
well, we have tea like here, so basically it's not a problem. That's like my ultimate goal is to just like stop drinking sugary drinks altogether because they're really bad and don't mix well with my lifestyle of not exercising at all.
I'll give you some hope, which is tea and coffee actually will make you live longer and healthier and have less cancer and have less chance of Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and all the brain diseases. They're actually good for you. So you can get addicted to caffeine and abuse yourself with tea and coffee all you want, and you'll probably just end up living longer than other people.
Yeah, but contradicting my Finnish heritage, I don't actually like coffee at all.
You know, I hated coffee till I moved to Finland, and they forced me to drink it here, and now I like it. So
yeah, too hard.
So I'm sure you'll come to like it at some point. Start with sugary coffees or add tons and tons of fat, like milk.
Is there like actual any like is there a difference between drinking coffee or tea?
Yeah, tea has a chemical called L-theanine in it. Yeah. L-theanine is a relaxant. So when you combine, when you drink coffee, you get really jittery and sweaty. Like
I've never drank coffee. I just hate the smell of it.
I'm telling the viewers that the other one. Tea has a chemical in it that like is a downer, brings you down off that, so it reduces the jitteriness. So you keep the reaction speed that you gain from drinking caffeine, but you reduce some of the like craziness in your head. So tea is actually a little bit better for esport athletes because it actually improves your decision making more than coffee does, which is important. But honestly, you just have to moderate your caffeine intake. So most people just drink too much coffee and so they get jittery.
What do you actually think about like caffeine not being banned like in like esports events?
It's crazy. I mean, it's impossible to ban, right? Because it's food. It's nutrition.
Yeah.
It comes from.
Well, you can't. Well,
the problem is it's a performance-enhancing chemical. It does improve performance. We know it improves endurance in bicycle racing, like distance bicycle racing. We know that it improves endurance in marathon racing. It improves speed, like top-end speed in sprinting. So, it's a performance-enhancing chemical, drug, whatever you want to call it. And every single pro athlete regulates their caffeine intake in a tactical way, including every team I've ever worked with.
So everyone you've worked with has consumed caffeine to some level?
If they haven't, they do after I start working with them.
Oh, okay. So you recommend it?
No, I don't recommend it. I regulate it. They are allowed to drink this much caffeine on these days, and then they are required to drink this much caffeine on game days or training days at these times. And we change the amount of caffeine based on their chemistry, so like how much they normally like to drink in their average life. Because if you're addicted to caffeine or if you're tolerant of it, basically there's no change. You actually have to drink caffeine or you don't even get to be normal. So once you're tolerant of caffeine, if you don't drink caffeine, you have slower reaction speeds. Which is why you have to come down off caffeine. It takes anywhere from 3 to 14 days, depending on how long you've been addicted or tolerant. I have a couple charts that I should probably publish for this that give you the ability to kind of hack your own life a little bit and change how many days you drink and don't drink. So I might try to publish them. And so keep an eye on my blog, mindgames.gg. And if I do that, then I'll put them there, put a link.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a podcast about this too that I should put back up. I actually took it down, but I can put that back up for you.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for the question, dude. And
okay, thanks.
Sorry to keep you up so late. Have a
no problem. Hyvää yötä.
Hyvää yötä.
Kiitos.
Heippa.
Moi.
All right, guys. He's not lying. It is 1:49 in the morning here. And Max stuck around, so I'm totally going to handle this question, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to go on to Matt Pasilas. And maybe I'll be able to get to Matt. Sorry, Matt. University of Minnesota Duluth's coach. Okay. All right. Well, oh, you're right. So just a reminder for all of you guys who are just tuning in, this is the Ask Weldon Show, episode 115, and I'm doing it as a call-in show, which means all you have to do is follow the link on my Discord, which is, I don't remember which side it's on, but it's on one of these two sides. Type it in and go to the Discord, and there's a channel called the Ask Weldon. Ask Weldon, it's the channel. And there you can type your question, and then I will find your question and drag you into the channel, and you can ask it on the show live, and I will answer it. And the video and audio quality of the stream is quite bad, so I apologize for the kind of delays and lag you're getting. I'm on a really not optimal laptop for streaming, and so I recommend that you also check out my Mac program, which is the only way I will ever be able to purchase a new laptop, if I'm so inclined. It's my training program. I'm trying to clone myself so that you can have the same training that I do with the pro athletes. Check it out. Looking in general real quick. People be going down. All right. Max, Posse Loss. I hope you're ready. Max, are you there? Welcome to the show. Maybe he's not there. Or maybe he just freaked out because his speakers just lit up. Oh, I saw something. Don't hear you yet. No sound yet. All right, Max, maybe message me if you get stuff working. I'm going to try Matt real quick. Matt, are you there? Welcome to the show. Your mic is muted.
Hello.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I was the guy that used to send you snaps of my chow chow from Duluth.
Oh my
I don't know if
gosh.
you remember.
I missed
Yeah.
that guy.
I'll send you another one, but he's like 45 pounds now.
You were in Duluth, that's right. And I remember because you sent me a picture of snow once.
Yeah, I'm in Minneapolis now. I moved in with my partner, and we're having a good time.
How is Minneapolis compared to Duluth?
It's great. I love the cities like a lot more than Duluth. I mean, there's a lot less nature, but that's about the only thing.
Yeah, for me that's like the only thing. That's the struggle.
Yeah, I like being like 5 minutes away from everything, which is really cool. But
oh my gosh, we're so opposite. I mean, not that that's a bad thing. I love people who are opposite, but I literally live 4 hours into the middle of the woods in rural Finland, which is just about as insane as you can get.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, here's my question, I guess.
Okay.
I just graduated about 2 months in December, and I've landed like a ton of interviews for my career, but it seems like I'm not particularly standing out. It seems above the other candidates, and I'm just wondering what it might take to maybe like land that first job, because it just seems like I'm like almost giving up at this point.
Are you able to give me some context? Like, what's your field, or what?
I graduated in management information systems.
Okay, so
yeah,
so what does an entry level position look like that you're aiming for?
It'd be like a data analyst or a business analyst, systems analyst.
Okay. How to make yourself stand out and get the entry level job? Yeah, I mean, obviously this is going to be a tough question for me to answer because there's so much context that I can't address, right? And also my specialty is not helping people get entry level jobs. But what I can do,
it's not league related.
What I can do is what I do in these situations, which is I will tell the story that I have that kind of encapsulates the same kind of journey you're taking, and hopefully you can glean some wisdom from it. And if you do, wonderful. And if you don't, well, at least I got to tell a fun story. So, yeah, when I graduated in English and mathematics, and ended up working in retail, I think.
Okay.
Just because I worked at Gander Mountain, by the way. You know where that is. You know what that is because you're from Minnesota. And I ended up doing price management and trying to break my way up to corporate, and I did some math projects for them, and I did linear modeling, so that's supply chain management mostly when you take it to the applied side. So I was trying to break into supply chain management, at the corporate, like at the out of the store, and just wasn't happening. Fast forward to so obviously my career went somewhere else, but I want to fast forward now to the second time this happened, which is I decided in 2007 to abandon my career, which I'd spent 3 years building up, or by the time I abandoned it, it was going to be 5 years building up of being an English teacher, and I'd worked my way up to a decent level, and I was going to scrap it all and start over because I wanted to be a coach. I wanted to be an athletic coach professionally, and so I was more motivated to do this than any other thing I'd ever attempted in my life, I think. I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty sure that it was close. And so I was able to basically observe the effect that motivation has on exactly what you're trying to achieve. And so think about like how motivated you are to kind of like get the job that you're trying to get as a metric of like how able you are to make yourself stand out. So here's what happened to me when I started looking for coaching career. I can actually show you my desktop right now, but I can't because my stream's so bad. I literally applied for like 300 positions or more, and I would spend at times. I quit everything. Right, I saved just enough money to survive. We were living on $14,000 for the entire year in cash. So we were dumpster diving basically for everything, selling off our belongings, and I spent all day long applying to coaching gigs nonstop. Like I would just scour Craigslist, I scoured the internet, and it was not just around where I was, it was like literally like everywhere that I could possibly get on public transit, including 3-4 hour commutes. And finally I landed a job, and I went to a lot of interviews, and these were interviews in pools, right, on pool decks, and I would show up in a suit. It's pretty ridiculous, but like I just wanted to make sure I had all my bases covered. That they knew that I was like effing serious about this. And then I got a job teaching 3-year-olds of kind of wealthier parents, prepping them for joining the competitive 5-year-old team. And it was 8 to 10 hours in the pool every single day, freezing cold, dealing with 3 to 5-year-old kids, and this was a very urinated pool, and essentially like they had to chlorinate it so heavily that after months of this, my skin, like all of my hair fell off my entire body, and my skin started to peel off, and I got all these really unmentionable diseases in various parts of my body that are like related to being damp all the time, that basically was like doing the do's in the most extreme way possible, if you could think of it like that, but not, of course, as bad as other people do. But I kept applying. I would leave that, and on the bus on the ride home, I had a smartphone by this point because I had one of those 3G iPhone 3, not the 3S, but the iPhone 3, the cool looking one. And I would just apply to jobs on the way home and text people. And I followed up on the most obnoxious of leads, sometimes 4 or 5 times, with zero response. And eventually, after, it must have only been 8 months of this, I finally landed a head coaching position. And I think I'd transitioned through 3 jobs by then. So I just leveraged the reference from one into the next one. And then, after like 8 to 12 weeks on that one, I leveraged that reference into the next one. So I think for me, it was about you realizing, and I've realized this in esport as well, that everything in the world is easier when you can just get referred to a position. Almost no hiring takes place like nude, from the job call, unless it's some sort of big corporation that has an HR department that's going to process all the stuff. But all the amazing jobs in small businesses and medium-sized businesses and with really good bosses and everything comes from a reference or a referral. Like everything, in my experience in the last 10 years in 3 different fields. So you have to get your foot into anything that's possible and get referrals. And what I would do is ply your current networks. I would bet that among all of your teachers and all of your alums, and like turn to the alums of your school first of all, just like message every single person in your school about where's my alumni network, blah, 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 and like search all of those people on Facebook and find which ones are at a company that you want to work at. And then just, that's your in right there.
Okay.
So start thinking about people as your like resource. And that's not hard in a
Okay.
socially networked world, right? And then
Yeah.
and then for every single application you're doing, I would consider essentially that you're applying to a person, not a position.
Okay.
And so find the decision maker who's above HR, who's like the person you want to work under. Treat it as if you're applying to a school and you're trying to find your professor that you want to study from. Find the person
Okay.
you want to work under and just start hitting them up on Twitter and LinkedIn
Okay.
and send them your blog post or whatever.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it's really all about, like, everything changed after I got those first 3 references, and they were able
Wow.
to get me into the thing. And in esport, it's essentially the exact same thing. It all came
Okay.
from building up a black book of people who you do a good job for, and they're like, heck yeah, this is the guy. Take him, hire him.
So I have a very good network or connection in the esports scene, but I feel like the skills that I have aren't up to par with what I think my friend would be expecting. I'm really good friends with Rayned, if you know him,
I've heard this name.
but
I've heard this name.
he owns Tempo Storm.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And I've been talking to him about working for him for probably like a few years now, but I think he's trying to make the big move in the next couple of years with the, like big office and everything. And like, what do I need to be doing in order to specialize? Like, I don't really know how to word this, but I want to be able to like work for him, or like work for, like,
You
break myself into
need
the esports scene.
guts.
Okay.
It sounds like to me.
Yeah.
You just need guts. You need to be able to put the friendship on the line. Be like, I'm going to do this, and if I fail, and I cost you your company, and you don't ever want to talk to me again, that's the cost of doing business.
Yeah.
Put it out there, because I'll tell you what, you will never learn what you need to do faster than if you put yourself in that situation and you're faced with a hurdle you have to overcome. In fact, you will go and literally consume the amount of knowledge that you took 4 years to learn in a week. And not only that, but you'll be like an expert practitioner of it as well in 7 days. What it took you 4 years to pick up in university. That's what motivation is. So I would say, actually, probably your fastest path forward in terms of progression as a human being would come from putting yourself in a situation like that, where you are literally working for somebody that you, what is it? Know, like, and trust, KLT, that you actually like, that you care if they come to your funeral. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then the sorts of things that you do in the evening after you punch out of the clock are not going to be, like going home and playing more League of Legends, which it would have been if you just got some random corporate job with some dude that you don't even know. It's going to be like 8 hours of studying up until 3 a.m, experimenting and making sure that it works in order to become, the best at what you do, so you don't actually fail at what you're attempting. And you will skyrocket in terms of your skill set. So that's what I would say.
Awesome.
Yeah, go with that.
Awesome.
Go with that.
Okay.
Just do it.
Perfect.
Just do it.
Thank you. I'll do it. Thank you.
And if you need to watch a bunch of motivational YouTube videos in order to make the call, just do that too. That's what I did for a while. When I was applying to all those jobs I told you about, and I was like trying to call the person back and I couldn't do it, I would just go watch some grind video on YouTube about, with those movie producer voice, like, he woke up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Awesome. Perfect.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, I'll send you a snap of my dog.
Send me a snap of of what you end up doing too, as far as the job goes. Keep me updated.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Ciao. Okay, I think we're going to dive into the last question here. For those of you just tuning in, by the way, this is the Ask Weldon Show, episode 115. Live call-in show. Please follow the Discord link to get into the Discord where you can type your question in the channel, and then I will invite you into the audio chat to ask your question live. Hi, Max. Are you there? Did I?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Sweet. Sorry to keep you up.
That's okay. I'm the one who started the stream. It's not your fault.
So my question is, like, I'm coaching a master challenger player. He hit challenger. He's gone back down. He's like in between like 250 and like 350 LP a lot. And he's a really streaky player. Like, he'll go on these like 10-game win streaks, and then he'll also go on these 10-game lose streaks. So I was just wondering, how do I like minimize the lose streaks and also like maximize his win streaks? Like, how do I help him?
Okay, so the best way to minimize losing streaks is to minimize is to comprehend them. Okay, and for that you need to change your measurement. So it's unlikely that he is the person he is when he's win streaking, and it's unlikely that he is the person he is when he's lose streaking. He's just an amalgamation of his games over the last, year. He's the average performance over the last 100 games that he's played. He is not whoever he is when he has a 10-game win streak. That's not a big enough sample size, right? Especially in League of Legends, which is a 10-person game. So you're literally 1/10 of the impact on the map every game. So what I did with TSM, who, for example, we went on some pretty nasty lose streaks during the split. Not that you would know it from the fact that we never lost, but the thing that you do is you start measuring other stuff than winning and losing. You have to find what skill he's trying to improve on, and then measure that from game to game. And you can try to measure it subjectively and objectively. But what we would do is we would have training goals, individual training goals for each player, and then we had position coaches that would monitor that goal for that player. So, for example, the distance between when teleport came on cooldown and when we were able to abuse it. If you're a top laner, or his communication of teleport windows. Every single time that he did have TP and they didn't, keeping that communication up, like, hey, let's set up this play, or every single time it was the opposite, keeping that communication up to the bot lane about playing safe because they have TP. So if you transfer that kind of, which lane does he play?
He's an ADC man.
AD carry. Okay, so top lane training goals, not so right. So yeah, is he training 2v2s or is he training maps?
He usually just solos. Like, what I have him focusing on when he's like focused on climbing.
Oh, he's just focused on climbing. Okay, that's the first
He's just
problem.
focused on climbing.
I would help him break down what climbing means. Like, I think that one of the first things that AD carries have to master, obviously, is the lane, and brush control. You can't really do that as much with an AD carry, but you could try to hone out several principles against each 2v2 that he could quickly communicate to his support at the start of the game. And then you could track how well he does that. You can also start working on really specific things like river control with the jungler, and start tracking. The more things that you have to track in early game, mid game, late game, the way more that you can divert his attention when he's losing. So you're just like, okay, early game's over, mid game training goals. Like, here's your playbook. Let's work on this, and make sure that you have things that can be trained from behind as well as from ahead. So you have a comeback playbook and a playbook, and just try to write them down. And they'll change a bunch, and they'll adapt a bunch, and he'll whine about some of them and say it's impossible, and you'll point out situations where he could have done it, and he will either grudgingly accept that or he won't, whatever. But if you can just metric it and literally like assign a value to it, or count the number of times, or something really objective, and also get his opinion about how he thought he did in terms of each goal, then you can actually show progression through losses, right? And it gives hope. It gives hope that, like, okay, I'm actually improving. Like, the loss isn't everything. And you also then have a thing to accuse him of when he's actually winning and not doing it correctly.
Right. It's like I have like rules for him. Like it's not like goals. I have like rules. Like let's say like he used to have a tendency of like always staying bot for like 20 plus minutes when he should be like mid or something. You know, it's like at 9 minutes, or if you're like past level 9, you need to just leave the lane and go do something else. Be like impactful. Think of outside the box and not just do the same thing over and over. Because I feel like if you do the same thing over and over, that the game's just gonna happen naturally when you could change it yourself, either good or bad. It's just like you will learn something off this roam, right? If you like leave bot lane. So I have like rules like that for him that I've like set in place.
So let me ask you, did you create the rule and then that was binary, he was supposed to do it behaviorally, and then you pointed out when he didn't do it? Because what you should do is you should point that out. You should create an aim, and then you should follow his progression. If he does it once, then you measure it as a 1. You're like, hey, last game you did that 0 times. This time you did it 1. You know, and if he does it, then you can metric. That's the new baseline, right? And then the next game he does it 2 times, and even though it's not a lot, like it's more than it was at 1. You know, so yeah, continue to create those and layer on complexity onto what he's doing, and then just see how many times he does it, and compare it to the previous game.
I need to keep track of it.
Yeah, and you don't like if you just really keep it in your mind, you can really kind of call attention to it in the post game VOD. I don't know if you do VOD review, if you do live coaching, but
yeah, we do. I do both. I spent a lot of time on this guy. He's went from D3 to Challenger.
So
since I've worked with.
So then essentially like it's helpful to measure it at first so you get a feel for it. Like, but I spent probably 3 weeks drowning in numbers in order to kind of get a feel for what it was that I was training and how often I needed to see it. And then after that, I went a lot more on gut, and I was like, yeah, you're doing better this game than previously because I've been watching you so long. So you've been working with this guy so long, it's possible that you just kind of like, yeah, you're doing this better this game, and you can say that, and you can point out exact points when he did what you're thinking of as an example, or you can say like, yeah, you did it kind of less than last game. So it could be you're past the measuring stage with him because you just know
I think
so well.
I am. I think that's why I don't. Yeah, I used to keep track of things, and now I just
now you don't. So don't worry about that. But don't forget to keep pointing out progress. Like it's scaffolding. It's all about scaffolding. You got to scaffold everything. So scaffold. You build scaffold on top of other scaffold. So start out with the low hanging fruit, and then you've got a ladder up to that fruit. So then you put another ladder on top of it, and this new low hanging fruit. Don't aim too high at first, because then you can't measure very well. It's like a long path till you get there, right? So it gets old.
I'm like worried that I'm like hitting a ceiling with him, because like he's like hitting this wall basically with between like 250 and 350 LP, and like it's really worrying me a little bit. But I'm just hoping that's not the case. Maybe he'll just push past it. But that's why I'm like trying to find things to.
You can start looking for more grand patterns, especially related to teamfight positioning. Like there's some really fun things you can do. Like, for example, you can start relating it to things like spatially outside the game. You can say like, okay, here's the mini map, and let's say the mini map is like, okay, let's see, I have a small ball here, and then the mini map is like the full size of my computer screen. You could say like, if one of your teammates is like outside of the range of this ball, if it can't cover all the dots, then you guys aren't able to affect each other enough to have a proper team fight. So you can be like these kind of like, you can start hitting at like core principles, like the brush control of mid, so like as an AD carry, controlling the psychological pressure that you apply to your opponents when you control the river brush pink, and then transitioning that power of being able to, like if you were in a lane state where you can control the river brush pink, forcing the jungler to come down and control the pixel brush area, that's next to mid, and then just like learning how to extend his strength in a lane to mid, like in a really systematic, like powerful way. So there's always complexity that you can layer on top of it, I think. And you're right that it's about influencing other areas of the map, like earlier and more powerfully, and kind of ordering around the team more and more. So you could transition into leadership. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many fun things we could join leaguecoaching.gg and join our Discord channel there that you get access to when you're a coach, because then we could just go on about this for hours in the Discord there. That'll be fun.
Oh, the league coaching GG. I was part of the ECN thing a long time ago.
That I closed down when I joined TSM because it was like going to be what I was doing for the whole year, and then I got a full-time job instead, basically.
So just the league, like once I join the league coaching, there should be a Discord and then join that.
Yeah. What I did, because the investor that I'm working with was more interested in a tech product, like league coaching, than in the esport coaching network. So what we're doing is slowly building up the capabilities that ECM was going to have, but inside leaguecoaching.gg. So if you join the site, register as a coach on your dashboard, you'll find a link to the Discord where we're just kind of like going over stuff all the time in terms of league coaching.
All right. That's
So
cool.
we're gonna try to make a professional development community out of it, for sure.
Yeah, I've been coaching for ever since like you started like ECN, I think, and then I didn't know what happened with that, and so I just started like coaching, trying to find people and hire Elo, and it's been working out for me a little bit.
Awesome, good to hear. Thanks for stopping by today.
Thank you.
It's it feels like we couldn't really get into the grid of it, but hopefully we can follow up as well with specifics. Like maybe we can trade VODs in the Discord and take a look.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be awesome.
Okay, have a good night.
Too.
Ciao. All right, guys, I think that's it for today. Thank you for everybody who also listed questions that we couldn't get to. This concludes episode 115 of the Ask Weldon show. Call-in live edition. I'm gonna do this at least once a week. So never fear if you missed out now. It doesn't mean you missed out permanently. And since you're in the Discord now, you'll get a little notification. If you have it on your phone and you have notifications on, I'm going to announce it in the general channel of Discord, obviously. And you'll get a ping, so you might be one of the first people to ask there and get into the next show. And I will see you guys next time. Be sure to check out a couple things. Check out mygames.gg/Mac, my training program, which I am constantly plugging because I spend a lot of time trying to outsource myself into that. I get a lot of requests from people to improve them and make their lives better and teach them and train them, and I can't. I just can't, because I have 3 children mostly, but also because I'm doing other stuff. And so this is my attempt over the last 2.5 years that I've been working on it to basically clone myself as a online video-based training program. So that's why I price it incredibly inexpensively, because I want everybody to have access to it, but also to sacrifice a little bit for it, so that they actually do it. Because if it's a free program, the adherence is way smaller. So I'm plying psychology on you even as you're purchasing it. But check it out, mindgames.gg/MAC. You can read about it there. It's just a 47 video training session that you can do over 3 to 6 months. Daily videos that include a lecture, a guided mindfulness session, and then another lecture. Usually it's sandwiched in there. Woo! Okay. Yeah, I'm a little tired now, it being 2 a.m. and stuff. So I'm going to go pass out, and I will see you guys on the next stream.